All right, so it's day number 2 on the Case Backhoe CK530 rebuild. Today I took off a lot of the hoses off the main valve assembly on the bucket. You can see there's a bunch on there. A couple things that I'm going to probably struggle with a little bit. I don't have the wrench, 1.75 inch, or I'm sorry, 1.5 inch. So I'm going to struggle kind of getting some of these bigger fittings. A couple bigger ones in here. I have a pipe wrench that I've been using. Probably not ideal, but it works. Also tomorrow I'm going to try to remove the hydraulic pump in the front. As you can see there, it's a pretty new. I got one side off. Trying to catch as much of the hydraulic oil, hoping that I can filter. Then another issue that I encountered trying to take off the bolts that hold the backhoe on. Appears that they are seized or may have been welded at some point. So these are the pretty good sized bolts. I'm likely going to have to remove the tire. You can see the inside there is a bolt. I tried putting a pipe wrench on the inside, bracing it, and then using the pipe wrench with about a 4-foot piece of pipe there. Was not strong enough. Even with all my weight, I couldn't budge it. So I'm a little concerned about that. Looks like I'm probably going to have to cut them off. Unfortunately, I don't have a torch, so I might have to resort to just using a cutting wheel. I haven't tried the one side yet. This one looks like it's loose, so I'm hoping I can maybe get that one. I'm going to have to cut one off. Also going to try to heat the nut up a little bit, see if that helps release. It could just be corroded. I think the next thing after that is taking the sides of the bucket off. It looks like I can independently take a side, bolts here in the back, across the axle. I replaced these bolts when I got it, so they're relatively new. They should come off. I put never seize, and that's what I'll do on a lot of these bolts, put never seize. No never seize is put on these, so that should help. So I have these brackets to take off. This part here will drop down. There's another bolt up in front of the like foot plate, I guess you'd call it, as you can see there by that clutch. So we'll get those bolts off tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe get the front bolts off of the sides for the loader. A couple here, I have the wrench for that. I also have a 3/4 inch drive ratchet that I ordered. So hopefully have that. It'll make reassembly and some of the further disassembly easier. I don't have impacts big enough, so I figured I have another tractor that has similar size bolts, so 3/4 drive probably is something I will use in the future. So I thought, I got an inexpensive one. I didn't go name brand or anything, but for all I'm going to use it for, it'll probably work. So again, this is day number 2, the teardown. Progress is made. I think once I get the loader off, I'm going to start tearing the hood assembly off. The front grill part will come off after that. I think there's only these bottom bolts here that hold that on. I can take that off. I'm going to remove the radiator, get that all cleaned up. It looks like a fairly new radiator. It's a little dinged up in here, but clean that out good, make sure there's no leaks. Seems in pretty decent condition, so I think I'll be okay there. Get that cleaned up, put that back on. Maybe put it back on or leave it off. I haven't really decided yet. And start disassembly the top end of the engine to see what we have as far as if it's a leaking sleeve or a cracked top end. Hoping it's just a leaking sleeve that I can replace pretty easily. Then I'm probably going to start cleaning up. I'm probably going to leave the gas tank on. I really don't, or the fuel tank. I don't really want to mess with that too much. We'll see. We'll see. I guess when I start looking around and getting into things. But as far as that, I'll probably remove the seat. The seat's pretty shot, so I'm going to replace the seat while I got it apart. Then just process of cleaning up. I want to replace the footboards. I got some steel to do that. I'm thinking of raising the foot pedals up a little bit because I want to put a seat that I can swivel to use the backhoe rather than having the seat that hangs up above on the backhoe itself. I want to have one that I can just rotate just to make it easier. and I think I can accomplish that fairly easy. It might take a little engineering, mechanical type thing to make sure that the clutch and everything works okay. And I'm also going to look at the clutch when I have this apart. I think loosening the belt and pull that back. I think these are pretty straightforward. I've seen my dad, he did a Ford Jubilee. Basically just propped up the front and the back, split the housing, and then slid it apart. I think it's probably the same here, so I'm going to try that and see. Watch some videos to see other people maybe on just the regular case tractors, because they're pretty similar model, same framework and everything. Hoping that I can get a good idea how to do that, because the clutch does slip, makes a pretty awful noise when you're shifting. And on this Select-O-Matic, when I go push the lever forward, it goes in reverse, and when I pull it backward, it goes forward. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I think if I tear that apart and look in there, maybe if it's normal, I'll be able to tell. If it's not, maybe I can fix it so that it's, when you push the bar forward, it goes forward. Because that can get confusing when I have a tractor that's hydrostatic drive, and one that I can use that when you push forward on the stick, it goes forward. So when you jump on this, you kind of get it mixed up. Also, too, going to look at the transmission because the rubber grommet was loose. It shot. I'm afraid maybe some water got down in there. Make sure everything looks clean and good there. And then I'll start, probably not going to sandblast. I'm probably just going to wire wheel and clean. And then start painting and putting back together. Start pricing out some hoses. I've considered maybe getting my own manual hose crimp if I can find one. Just to try to save a little money, and I can just buy hose and buy the connections a little bit at a time. Might save me a few bucks. I don't know. We'll see. And then start rebuilding hydraulic cylinders. That'll be the next big endeavor, and go from there. I did get some gland nut wrenches. Got these on eBay. Half-inch drive from Fox Equipment. I think it was like 30 some bucks for the half-inch drive, and I went ahead and got a 3/4 as well. Pretty nice. I mean, they're pretty hefty duty. I mean, hopefully they hold up. I think this one was 40. So for under 100 bucks, I got two gland wrenches. Hopefully they work out good. And we can rebuild those cylinders fairly easy. I didn't have that when I redid one of the backhoe booms. It was leaking profusely. I just had to monkey around with the pipe wrench and just little by little got it off, but it was very difficult. So I think this will be a lot easier. So if you got any comments or anything you think might be missing or anything I could do while I have this apart, or any advice, if you have links or you know someone that's done this before, I'd be interested in connecting with them. Please send me a comment, and yeah, happy to share and discuss anything. Guess that's it. Thanks.